Calgary condo prices are now about 13% below their 2024 peak, while detached homes have held up considerably better. So when you hear that Calgary home prices are falling, that's true, but it doesn't tell you nearly enough because right now, what you're buying matters almost as much as where you're buying. I'm going to break down exactly what's happening and what it means whether you're buying, selling, or thinking about moving to Calgary. If you're planning to move to Calgary, I've linked my free Calgary home buyer guide below. Let's get into the numbers. Sales this summer have been softer than last year, and buyers have a lot more homes to choose from than they did a couple of years ago. That combination has pulled the overall benchmark price down slightly, and citywide, we're sitting at around 3.5 months of supply. Overall, Calgary looks fairly balanced, but that city-wide number hides some very different markets depending on the type of home that you're looking at. So let's go through them one at a time, starting with detached. Detached is holding up reasonably well. Inventory has been easing since the spring, and overall, it's been a fairly balanced market. The benchmark price is just under $744,000, down only slightly from last year. But here's what really matters: the location. West Calgary is significantly tighter than the Northeast, and the city center and the West have performed considerably better than other parts of the city. So if you're waiting for the detached homes across Calgary to suddenly drop because you've been hearing that Calgary prices are falling, that's not really what the data is showing. It's more accurate to say pricing depends heavily on where you're looking. Duplexes have honestly been one of the more stable parts of the market all year. Prices are roughly flat compared to last year, and conditions remain relatively balanced. So not much drama here, which if you're a duplex buyer or seller is genuinely good news. Townhomes are a different story. Prices are down 6% from last year, noticeably softer than the detached and the duplexes. Part of what's driving that, though, is new construction. There's lots of new townhome construction happening right now, and that's creating real competition for resale townhomes at similar price points. Now, let's talk about the part of the market that's getting the most attention right now. Condos are where buyers have the clearest advantage in Calgary right now. The benchmark price is around $298,000, down more than 8% from last year and roughly 13% below from the peak that we saw in 2024. We're sitting at around 5 months of supply, and conditions clearly favor the buyers. And here's probably the most important number for understanding why this is happening. There are currently more than 17,000 apartment-style units under construction in Calgary. That's the real story. Several years of heavy construction combined with a real slowdown in international migration have shifted conditions significantly for higher density homes. If you're a condo buyer right now, this is probably the most negotiating leverage you've had in years. If you're a condo seller, pricing it realistically matters more than it has in a long time. Here's the mistake I think people are going to make with these numbers. They're going to hear that Calgary prices are falling and assume that every buyer suddenly has a lot of negotiating power. That's not what's happening. If you're a detached buyer, you may have more choice than you've had a few years ago, but good detached homes in strong communities still move very quickly. If you're a condo buyer, this is where you currently have considerably more choice and negotiating leverage. If you're a townhome buyer, there's more opportunities, particularly where resale homes are competing up against new construction. If you're selling, buyers have more options, so pricing correctly from day one has become much more important than it was a few years ago. If you're moving here from Ontario, BC, or overseas, the process is certainly less frantic than it was a few years ago. There's generally more selection, and depending on the property type, buyers have more time to make a good decision. And if you already own a home here, don't panic when you see a headline saying Calgary prices are down. Property type and location matter enormously. Detached and duplexes have generally held up considerably better than condos and townhomes. So if you're thinking about buying, selling, or moving to Calgary and you're trying to figure out where you fit in this market, feel free to reach out. You can book a call with me directly, or if you're still in the research stage, grab my free Calgary home buyer guide. Both are in the links below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.